So the kale is just doing lovely. I've got two different varieties. Over here I've got the, what's this one's the dinosaur, I think, which is just curly kale. And then I have a smooth leaf kale over there. But this one, what I really like, those are just some cabbages. What I like about these is that when I dry these leaves and grind them up and use them as coloring in soap, they hold their color better than almost any other herb or vegetable that I've used. Several of the herbs like thyme or rosemary or sage, their colors fade really quickly, and this one holds its color really, really well. All the kales do, so I'm very pleased with those. All right, so I'm going to harvest some of these leaves. I'm going to dry them and use them as coloring in some avocado luxury soap that I'm about to make. All right, let's go inside and make it. Avocados, I love them. But you know, I cut these and I let them sit a little longer than I should have. But that's okay. They're going into a soap anyway. And avocado turns brown in soap because of the high pH anyway. And avocado, if you leave it sitting out very long without adding something like lemon to it, it will turn brown. But anyway, I had done something I haven't done in 9 years. I ran out of this, my avocado luxury soap. This has been one of my most popular soaps, both here locally at market and online for many years. And I just boo-booed and ran out. And so I have to remake it. So I'm making a large 20-pound batch here. And I love avocado both for eating and soaping. Oop, get in there. Okay. I think it is just one of the most delicious natural fat vegetables that exists. I love it. I really do. I can't eat it as often as I could when I was younger, but I still love it. But the way I look at it, if I cut back on sugars, which I've done quite substantially, especially recently, a little bit of natural vegetable fats are a fair trade-off for my health. All right. Almost got them here. And I'm going to be making something. One of the reasons I let these get really, really, really super ripe is so that I can mix them with my goat milk to create an avocado milk. I don't know how exciting that sounds to you, but it's something I had not done previously. So it seemed like a great idea to do it now. So that's what I'm making today. So let me grab the goat milk and we'll get started. All right. So I've got some fresh goat milk that's been filtered, not homogenized because we're putting it in soap. Oh, that is so lovely. It's not as thick as that donkey milk, but because it comes from my own animals, I'm pretty pleased with it. Okay, we're gonna scoop in our avocado. See how much darker it's got already? Right. So I'm just going to blend our avocado right into our goat milk. And the lactic acid in the milk will stop the browning of the avocado right in its tracks, so it won't get any browner right now. Now, once it hits the soap, it will. So for color, I will be adding some organic kale powder right from the garden. Matter of fact, I'll show you an image of my kale here, or a little bit of video of what I'm working with right now. And that will help add that avocado green to our soap. And I really like the way the kale keeps the green color. It does not fade in soap the way a lot of other greens do. I don't know if it's because I'm using it fresh from the garden and powdering it, maybe just getting it, right away. Maybe it holds its color a little better over time. Maybe it loses that color, but not in the soap. But I don't know. So here we have our, doesn't that look lovely? I think that is just beautiful. Matter of fact, let me get a white spatula. Zoom in here a little bit, just so you can get a good look at this. Isn't that luscious? I just think that looks wonderful. So this is that rich, organic Texas avocado mixed in with our local Texas, my own goats, their milk. And the smell coming off of this is so fresh, so just delightful. I don't know, it just reminds me of summer, and here we are in summer, so it's perfect timing, isn't it? I hope it's not as humid where you are as it is here, because of all the rains that we had previously. We're now dealing with very high humidity. There's no rain, but the ground is saturated and the temperatures are up in the 90s. It's 96 right now. So the humidity, the last time I checked, was at 74%. That's a lot of humidity. All right, so I'm going to next put this in some ice trays, get it frozen, and then we're going to start putting this together. All right, so come along with me. Welcome back, everyone. I'm really glad you could join me to make our avocado luxury soap. Why do I call it luxury? Because I think it's one of the most luxurious things there are, is avocado. It's been used in skincare for millennia by various different cultures. My lye is a little crunchy there, or a little there, it just needs breaking up. Sort of like sugar, lye can sometimes get into little clumps. Anyway, avocado has long, I probably need a bigger bowl for this. I'll just have to be very, very careful. As this melts and the spaces fill in, it will go down a bit, but I'm just going to have to be very careful so I don't spill any because it is so full. But avocado is a fatty fruit, not a vegetable. A fatty fruit that has some of the most wonderful benefits for the skin in many different ways. Eating it, of course, in moderation, of course, is a healthy fat. But again, I will reiterate that as with anything we put in our bodies, moderation is always the best policy. Yes, I can sit down and eat an entire bag of Cheetos by myself. I call the great big family size, that's a single serving for me. No, I'm kidding partially, but not really. Anyway, avocado. In soap, I personally think, and a lot of my customers think, and probably some of yours if you're a soap maker and you make avocado soap, my customers adore it. And much for the same reason I do, it is a very creamy, even the bubbles are sort of a creamy, silky feel to them. Oh, and by the way, if you see a few little dark specks, that's when you scrape the avocado out of the inside of the shell, the skin, sometimes little dots like that can remain behind. I kind of like that. To me, that just speaks to its natural origins, that it's not an avocado powder or some other incarnation of avocado. So, I'm also going to add into this my kale powder from my own kale. That's just to make sure that it has that lovely green avocado color when it cures, because this real avocado in here will turn brown because of the high pH in the soap. By the way, I have had this question asked many times, and maybe you're one of those people watching this now and you actually have this question too. And that is, how do you keep foods from spoiling in soap, or won't they spoil? It's a good question. But the high pH of the soap and the lye, that is why it has high pH, cooks. This is actually cooking, not with heat, although that too, but the chemical reaction that makes soap actually kind of cooks the avocado very gently. Much the way something you may not be aware of, or maybe you are aware of, and that is fish, for instance, can be cooked with lemon or lime. Did you know that? Yeah, the citric acid actually cooks the fish in a sense. You can read more about this. Just go on YouTube and do a search for, or just do a Google search for cooking fish with lime. Ceviche, you've probably heard of that. Anyway, I digress. But in reference to the question about does food spoil in soap? No, it does not. All right, there we go. There's our nice, rich avocado goat milk base. And just a moment, I'll get my oils up here and we're going to get this all blended together, all right? All right, so I'm going to pour in my oils and butters into this larger bucket because I'm making such a large amount of soap. I'm going to the big bucket. All right. Now, I did forget to tell you what essential oils I was using. So here I have, let's see, I know what the percentages are and it's just not coming to me now. But peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree, and lavender. It is such a delicious combination and I really think you'll enjoy this. So I'm going to go ahead and mix in, and pour in, I should say, my avocado milk. actually. I'm having light problems here. I apologize. I have one light. The head on it is messed up. And it will not stay where I put it. I think it's the nut in it is stripped out. And we're ready to begin blending. Isn't that a lovely avocado green? I think so too. The kale just gives it that really nice dark green. And my garden is coming in so beautifully into summer. The kale, the arugula, the spinach, all those greens. I just love them so very much. All right, so I'm going to move that aside. Hey, no mess. What do you know? Yet. Okay, let me turn my bucket the other direction. There we go. All right, so I'm just using a little spatula just to do a little bit of some type of pattern on top. I've used spoons and forks and everything but the kitchen sink. All right, so we'll come back in a little while and cut these. All right, so as you can see, these did lighten substantially, but they are still just a luscious color of avocado green. More of the inside of the avocado than, of the peel color. But I'm quite pleased. All right, there we go. All 4 loaves are out, and now I get to cut them, my favorite part. And I realize these have no swirls in them, they have no pattern in them, so cutting them isn't very exciting, but I take just as much pleasure and enjoyment out of cutting these sort of ordinary, plain looking soaps as I do any other type of soap. All right. The only problem, I do like this cutter fine. I just washed it. It takes up so much space. It is a giant thing. Straighten the camera a little bit there. It is huge. And of course it reflects my ugly mug in it, which I try to save you from, but sometimes it's just going to happen. Here, I'll try to block my face with a loaf of soap. How's that? Right, so. I did this backwards. Hold on a second here. One thing I forgot is to keep the flat side up against these feet in the back, so that way your cuts are straight. And because of the way I had these spaced, I wanted extra big bars, so there's actually going to be one skinny bar at the end. All right, here we go. So, as you can see, these are large. These are 1 1/4 inch wide bars of soap. I just decided to make larger bars of soap. The center on these is still a little damp. They will evenly color up as it's exposed to air. And there they are. What do you think? They smell wonderful. Another thing about this type of cutter, my old cutter, I could stack my bars as I cut them on the cutter itself. Can't do that here. All right, so I wanted to talk to you all about something that I had started talking about in a previous video, but I did a poor job of phrasing it and a poor job of explaining what I wanted to do. So I'm going to be a little clearer in this video. What I was trying to say is that I want to support YouTube channels and Etsy shops, and or you have to have either an Etsy shop, well, you have to sell soap, because that's what I want to do. I would like to buy soap from folks that have a YouTube channel and have an Etsy shop. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a person of color. I received a lot of questionable posts about that. I think some folks thought that I meant that I only cared about people of a different race, and I don't think that way. That's just not how my brain works. All I was trying to do, all I wanted to do, was to help support some soapers of color that I felt was... I've supported lots of soapers over time. I don't talk about things that I do. I don't even want to discuss this now, because the way I feel about it, you should just give and keep your mouth shut. And I do believe that. I think it's silly people that talk about all the good things that they do, because to me they're just looking for some kind of kudos for what they're doing. I don't want that. Although the truth is, we all give because it feels good to give. So we do get something out of giving. All right. But where was I going with this thought? I do want to help if you need help. Obviously, there are a lot of people that are doing just fine and don't need any help. But if you're a soaper and you have a YouTube channel and an Etsy store, post in the comments of this video your channel, your YouTube channel and your Etsy store, or if you don't sell on Etsy, if you sell on Shopify, whatever, it doesn't have to be Etsy necessarily, the place where I can purchase from you. And that's what I want to do. And I've been fortunate, okay? That's all this is about. I feel that in life I've done pretty well. I've had some sad things happen in my life. I've lost a lot in my life. But you know what? I'm here. I saw someone recently, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, somebody near death, possibly. It made me think about my own mortality a bit more. It's really hot here. I don't know where you are. The humidity here is horrendous. It's in 70+% humidity, which is just awful. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about my own mortality, and I don't have children. I've been lucky. Like I said, I came into just a little bit of cash, and just even before that, I had the idea that I wanted to share a bit more with others. That doesn't mean I can support anyone. I don't have those kind of funds. But if I can help out a little and shop in someone's store and just, do a little something extra for you to help you do a little better in your own business, I'm happy to do that. So, again, simply give me your YouTube channel, if you have one, of course, and the shop where you sell your soaps so that I can order from you. And that's it. That's all I'm asking for. Is that something you can do? If you're not a soaper, don't worry. This doesn't apply to you. But I just thought I wanted to help out some of my fellow soapers. Those especially, folks that are maybe struggling, having a difficult time. Let me share a little with you. I've already given away a whole lot, but I'm still happy to share what I can. And if that means buying some of your product to help your business, that's what I want to do. And I'm not going to say any more about it. That's all I wanted to say. So that's that. Okay? All right. Now that's not all I want to say. Sorry, there is one other thing I want to say. And that is that when someone else is doing well, or someone else asking for rights or asking for fair treatment, that doesn't mean it's something that's being taken away from you. I'm not referring to any one of you specifically, but some of the comments I got about, giving to, that I named soapers of color specifically, that shouldn't threaten you if you're not a person of color. One person receiving doesn't mean it's taking away from you. And I'm not trying to assign any blame here or to suggest, ouch, I pinch myself. I'm not trying to suggest that any one person was wrong in what they said to me, but I want to clarify my feelings on the topic, and that is that I personally, what do you think of the tops? I kind of like them. One person's benefit is not another person's sacrifice. It doesn't have to be that way. And I know that there are people who fear that immigrants are taking something away from them, that if somebody in a poor neighborhood gets a little extra road work or gets a new school in their area, that somehow that harms them. It doesn't. I mean, it shouldn't, certainly, unless there's something unfair going on in your community, but I can't speak to that. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get preachy. It's just that people surprise me sometimes at the things that they say. I don't think people always think carefully before they speak, which I'm guilty of too. So I know that's the case. I oftentimes open my big mouth and say things and later wonder, why did I say that? All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the making of avocado milk luxury. I really like these a lot. I hope you do as well. These will be in the store in late July, and I think they'll be perfect for summer. Just this luxurious soap. I'm not going to say it's moisturizing because soap doesn't moisturize, at least certainly not this type of soap. Now, if you got well, I'm not going to dive into that right now. But anyway, if you like what you see here, please subscribe, come back to the channel. I love having you here. Leave a comment if you will. A thumbs up really does help the channel. Even a thumbs down helps. If you don't like what you see, give me a thumbs down. It shows engagement on the channel. All right, everyone, have a terrific day, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.